Hi there, and welcome back to No Nonsense Whisky. My name is Vin PF. Now today we're concluding my little run of English Whisky distilleries, and that is going to be the Lakes Distillery, the Lakes Spirit. Now this is an exclusive to the Founders Club, which is still available. I'll talk about that in a bit. But this is their single malt, made by them, not like the one. And it's their 1 year spirit, not whiskey, because as we know, whiskey can only be described as whiskey when it's been in a cask for 3 years, 1 day, then it's whiskey. So this whiskey is the Lakes Malt Spirit, bottled at 40%. As you can see, very light indeed. Almost kind of clear with a touch of kind of white wine look about it. It's hard to see through the cut glass, I know. Should have done a nosing glass, but so be it. So as I said before, the Founders Club, now they're doing a deal where you can sign up for, I think it's 700 quid outright, or you can do a payment plans of up to sort of 3.5 years of £20 a month, and for that you get a load of gubbins come through the post, including like free passes to distillery tours, things like that. But the main attraction, obviously, you get a 70cl bottle every single year, starting with their 1 year all the way up to their 10 year, guaranteed. You also get 2 little samples, so you don't have to open your big one. Now, I haven't signed up to the Founders Club, but I was kindly donated this sample by a whiskey blogger in the name of Gentleman Grimm. If you check in the links below, I'll put a link to his blog and his Twitter feed. Absolutely wonderful, generous bloke. He gave me a load of other samples as well that I'll be going through at some point, and I'll tell you about him again then. So, back to the Lakes Spirit. As said, very pale, as you might expect for something that's only had 12 months against wood. So we'll give it a smell and we'll see what we get. Now I think I said earlier it's bottled at 40%. Now those who remember I tried some Cotswold stuff that was 20 months old. That was cask strength basically, so 60 odd percent, which I like, you know. I mean this smells like new make spirit, which I like the smell of, but it's not as overwhelming. If you've ever tried any new make spirit, it's obviously really strong. It's like sort of 60 to 70% ABV. So this has the smell of it without being kind of beasted by the smell. You know what I mean? So kind of on the nose, I get that kind of malty smell. And something that's kind of fresh to my nose flavour profile is green apples, which I'm a big fan of. Alright, so let's give it a taste and see what we get. Wow, it's surprisingly smooth. You don't kind of get an initial alcohol burn, which is good. 40%, you'd expect that kind of thing, but it's got a little tiny bit of spice to it, just a little bit hot. I'm okay with that. In terms of flavours, you're getting that kind of malty, grainy kind of flavours coming through that you would expect from something so young. Yeah, I don't think I can taste anything particularly woody about it. Obviously hasn't had much time to go with it, but that by no means sort of takes away from it. It's not overly complex, but then why would you expect it to be? Because it tastes like the spirit that went in. I'm actually quite surprised. When I saw it was 40%, I thought to myself, it seems like they might have watered that down a little bit too much. They should have benefited from maybe the high 40s, something like that, just to give it a bit of extra oomph. But I'm genuinely surprised by that. It tastes good. Tastes good. like I say, not overly complex, but sometimes that's not what you're after, you know. And especially considering this is more of a taster, you know, they're not selling this. You can't go into the shop and buy this. You have to be part of the Founders Club or know someone extremely generous to give you a sample of it. So this isn't for kind of general consumption. This is to give people who are interested in English whiskey and the distillery themselves a chance to get in on their history, you know. Well, based on that, I'm very happy. I think that if this is what they've got after a year, after 3, it's going to be obviously a lot better, and after 10, it can only be better than that. That said, I'm not sure what they're going to do with their expressions. You know, they've bottled this. I think it's all ex-bourbon. I don't know, not sure. I'll put a thing in the comment just to clarify that. But I don't think they're doing anything fancy with this particular spirit just yet. But that doesn't mean they won't. After 3 years, they might decide to do a generic bottling that kind of like a core bottling. But I have no idea what their plans are. So come 10 years old, they might start messing around with it and seeing what they get. But based on that, I think we're looking at a good spirit. Worth the 700 quid if you've got it, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Definitely will be collectible. They'll be numbered 1 to 10 all the way through, and you can even try it a little bit. And of course they do the instalments, like I said at the beginning of the show. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this video with the Lakes Distillery, and also the end of my run of English whiskey. I'm sure I'll be covering this and the others a lot more over the coming months and years as I get samples through, but in December I'm going to be moving on to other things. I've got a poll running on my Twitter feed right now. If you quickly probably get in there and have a vote on it to see what you want me to cover for December. In the meantime, if you're not on like a TV screen, if you're on your mobile or something like that, you should be able to click a couple of videos here and here, and also subscribe around here. Don't forget to like and share also. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on No Nonsense Whiskey.